Bros program. You can check them out here on Ironic Radio Network. 8-Bit Bros. That's number 8. Then bit. Then bros. One word. I strongly encourage you to stay tuned for that. And if you want, they also have a Facebook page and a much better live show. Anyway, 8-Bit Bros, 8 p.m. Ironic Radio Network.
It's 8 o'clock, and you know what that means.
Oh, what up, people? Welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Bros. It is the early edition, the pre-inauguration edition. With that being said, we have a great show planned for you. Not a kid-friendly show, adult language, adult content. Do the right thing, people. Put your kids in the closet.
Pit Bros Early Edition, Inauguration Eve. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Center box gets a square.
What up, people?
Up to the left, me. Yeah, me, web boy. To the right, 846 miles south. The one and only Thumping Loud. What up, gentlemen? It's like old times.
What's going on, man?
I don't know. I got my hat on tonight.
I got a little off-camera action going right now.
Yeah.
So I'll be right back. I had all the Bob stuff go on, and now I got this going on. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. So yeah, I got my hat on tonight, my Guardians hat, because it's cold, or as to take it back to an earlier day of the 8-Bit Bros, it's cold in them there parts.
It sure is, right?
It's gonna be like this for a week, man. It's chilly. It's chilly.
We've actually gotten pretty lucky this year. One snowstorm, not a whole lot of snow.
No, and I really thought. Well, I mean, everyone, someone else.
I mean, they were like, 9 to 14 inches. I'm like, man, we're gonna be lucky. We got 5 to 7 inches, and I think we hit like 6.
I don't know. It's a fucking lot over here. But someone else said that to me too, and I'm like, you're right. Yeah, it's been a mild winter so far, and they told us it was going to be really bad, and I still think it's going to be really bad. But when did winter start? A month ago.
If that.
Simple. Yeah.
We've had some days like this past week. We had a day or two in the 50s. I mean, that is warm for the winter in the Northeast.
We still got 3 more months to go before spring. So don't talk about it.
Don't count your chickens.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't talk about it.
Exactly.
But shit, yeah. Damn. It's fucking cold, and I don't like the cold, especially sitting close to these windows. Don't like the cold. Tell you something still don't feel right in this chair though today. Since I rip shit apart. But anyway,
hey, man, you're doing good things moving forward, and that's really all you can ask for at this point.
That's right.
What are they miss?
Nothing. It's just bullshit.
Yeah,
my seat
doing good things?
Building a new machine. He's upgrading his life.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Updating digital age.
I ain't praising this motherfucker for that bullshit. It's taken him too fucking long to actually get on it. We've been talking about this shit for fucking years. My boy is dragging his knuckles slower than a Neanderthal trying to evolve to a fucking.
Hey, I had a lot more things to buy. I had a lot more things to buy that were a little bit more important.
Look, I know you bought a Jeep and a car and everything else, but I also know that should have not even made a dent to the gambling money that you've made this year in football.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I only really
whatever, dude. I saw the parlays that were hitting for $5,000 a pop. So whatever you literally bought one of these cars probably with gambling money.
Well, I mean, no, but a good chunk of it, yeah, without a doubt.
Well, if you also consider, it all depends on what you classify gambling. I mean, you do play in the stock market, and to some people, that is also gambling.
That's true.
That's true. And he's been okay there too this year, this past year, I should say. We'll see how it goes now. Tomorrow is the day. I mean, the show's titled for Inauguration Pre-Show, but
yeah,
this is it. Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day
Yeah.
that one becomes another. So there will be a transition of power. I did read a post that you put on Facebook as of recently that was like, this is what Biden should do
Yeah.
right after he
Yeah.
becomes. And I thought that was a very interesting twist that actually may have made the most sense as far as how you could smooth things over and establish a good control, but it would be enough to make the right side notice the situation
Hmm.
as him being present in the moment,
Yep.
that would maybe do the best healing, because you're there leave the Trump situation alone. Don't clutter Biden's first 100 days
So
with what
important.
you did with Trump in the first 3 years of his.
Yeah.
Don't do the same thing, because this impeachment trial is now going to impact this incoming presidency. And if he pardons him, like you said, I mean, even though, like, I'm saying if he was behind, like, really trying to seize power, then yeah, he needs to be dealt with, like, to the
Hey,
fullest extent.
I don't disagree with that.
But if this is just Nancy being Nancy, like the Republicans feel, like a lot of right wing people feel that Nancy's just a bitch and she's doing this just to be a bitch, then and seize control of the government in her own way,
Mm.
then pardoning Trump and proclaiming to her that now he is the leader of this country, then it would set a precedence of a really intense standoff between somebody who one has believed to be in some cases more treasonous than the other, when you're looking at Nancy and Trump compared to each other, because the
Sure.
right really looks at her as very treasonous by trying to set all of these things in order to claim power from either the current president coming in, or, well, the president elect, or the president that
Right.
has been, as some way of her seizing power. Um, it would set that tone that goes, all right, now the bullshit's over.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
Yeah.
But I
I'm,
don't see it as something that would really be done. But it would be like kind of the good move if it was able to go that way. But I mean,
look,
to be real
I do.
about it, we're not going to see that. Pelosi's going to
No.
continue her power struggle. If you see that's what she's got going on, is wanting to be president from the inside.
I honestly think you're going to see Pelosi. I honestly think these younger buck politicians, regardless of side of the aisle you want to pick,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
somebody stirred that fire and somebody stoked that fire. And I do not remember her name. One of you guys talked about it. I believe it was you, Thump, that there is an individual out there who's like, these old people, they got to go. We need to inject some fresh blood.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few
Yeah,
who
there's quite a few youngins
failed
in there right
slowly.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a
And
few
I
youngins in there
think
now.
you're gonna start to see. There's a few of them, and they're gonna bark loud, and they're gonna growl loud, and they're not gonna be afraid of like the hierarchical structure of what like
Well, yeah, I see
the
that.
House and the Senate has always been. It's like, well, you respect your elders. Like these people, they don't care. Like they're there to do something for the people, and I think you're gonna start to see a big push to get these long-standing career politicians that are on the older side of death out the door.
Yeah, I just hope that they're actually being replaced by people who do want to do things for the people instead of playing government.
I think that you're going to see a big foot of that coming from us, the people, though. I really think like
Well, that's what I'm saying.
what we've all witnessed in
I
all
hope
this.
that's
I think
the case. I hope that's the case. But I'm so disappointed in right and left that I I I need something outside of that. So getting new right and left, even if it's young right and left, doesn't mean it's going to do anything. As far as I see it, I
yeah,
I need more
I can
change than that to make sure things change. Is where my head's at. Like, I need a third or fourth party to be able to bring themselves into the mix and be viable to make real change and real competition, because right now you're only seeing maybe young competition coming into the new realm going, hey, we want it. This is the new idea of the Republican Party, how we want it done. And this is the new idea of the Democratic Party and how we want it done. But I don't know if those two changes are going to equate to real change across the board for like the people. If it's not just like two more of people just arguing at each other about the same bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slow burn in that regard. Like, I think it's going to take a couple of election cycles to get to that point.
Yeah, I think
I
we've had
really
a couple
like
of those
this is
now.
the seed right now.
Well, yeah, I think we're in our third presidential election to where a third party has made more impressive of a run. Like, it's still not dramatic enough that it's viable, that nobody's looking at these parties yet as viable, real third parties, except for small groups that are now that you can be a card carrying. You can be a card carrying libertarian now. It is you can define yourself not only.
They don't get their fair share on a main stage at all.
Right, because of the way everything's set up. Because of the way everything's set up in the process of how money needs to be spent and how delegates are moved and
that's just how the structure is at this point.
Right.
Which is
And
very,
also
very sad.
in Congress, like,
and you got the term limit thing. We all agree is something that like it'll be interesting to see if these younger politicians would want to agree to that, or if they feel that they need to be here longer to make the change that they feel is necessary. Like that becomes the struggle with term limits on Senate and House and stuff like that. Is they feel they have the ability to make the real change in the world, and they need more time to do it, and that's why they don't want to leave office quickly.
well, okay, so what about Congress? Like, you need a majority to pass anything, right?
Yeah.
So, in order for any third party to really have a say, that would have to change. You'd have to make it so that
No, you'd
you
actually what would have to happen is everybody start talking to each other instead of partying up, and then it's not a conversation like that. Then you have 15 Republicans, 17 Libertarians, and 20 Democrats that all passed a bill. They had the majority. You know, like I'm using very small numbers, rudimentary numbers here that aren't real math to the situation. But I'm saying if those three groups of people band together and get the majority because they believe that this is good for the country, then why not? Why not be able to? Three people can agree. In a four-person situation, three people can agree to do one thing, and they don't all have to share all the same ideas outside of just that one moment that they agree.
Right. What we really need is what I like to really consider to be the free speaker, the free thinker. The people like you and me who go, oh, yeah, you know what? I can relate to some of the things the Republicans think, and I can relate to some of the things the Democrats think. But,
I do that. And then I go with, like, that's why I said if you look at what the Libertarian Party represented recently, what the Libertarian Party represented recently was probably the most structured idea of trying to gain themselves the ability to appear as a very competent, well-run party because they had firm stances. They walked into both parties with their ideals where they were like, yeah, this is not bad. We're not saying that you're wrong on this or this or this. It's a fusion of things going on is what that party has started to mold itself into. And this was probably one of their, like I said, this was their most positive step, I think, during this election. To get a candidate on all 50 state ballot was impressive.
Yes, I don't disagree. You just need more people who are free thinkers, out of the box. You let the fucking free markets run rampant and look at the great accomplishments that have been done in this country and around the world. As far as technology and
that's a lot of that's questionable.
Yeah, because some of it has come out of very tyrannical situations. I mean, not for anything. Our greatest medical leaps forward come out of the Nazi Party. So there's a lot to be said that like absolute freedom is not necessarily a good thing for groups of people.
Yeah, and just deregulated wealth
Like there's a
is
major
really,
argument to
yeah,
say that some of that definitely needs to be controlled because we've seen some of the like widest gaps of poverty when some of the most elite are allowed to be in that level of control.
right, right. Like the hoarding of wealth by the top 0.1% of
The
people
billionaires.
is not good for a society. It's not. It's not good for industry either.
Right.
It's not good for the economy either.
Oh,
So,
that's true. It's not.
yeah,
You need money in the economy to
right.
keep the economy going. But I mean, a lot of things here that people seem to miss is anybody who's worth that kind of money. It's all on paper. It's not real. That money would have never been into the economy anyway. It's not real money.
But that's not the point.
I mean, everyone talks about Elon Musk right now, richest man on the face of the planet, because his stock
Generated economy.
it's for $800 a share,
It's
but it's
just,
on.
it's just like mining Bitcoin. It's generated economy.
Yeah, and well,
Mhm.
yeah, it is like mining Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but at the same time, if Elon Musk decided to sell 25% of his stakeholder share
yeah,
or common stock shares that he
Right.
owns,
right.
that cash would be real, and it
Materialized.
would be in the economy.
It'd be
Actually, it wouldn't. It would be real and in his pocket.
it'd
Right.
be in his
Right.
pocket, but what he sells back would now be in your pocket because there'd be more shares on the market to buy. You can only sell shares.
Yeah, but
if
you're
there's
only
market
speaking from a
buy.
But
shares
he's
level.
selling shares of his company.
he
He's
d-
not actually putting money into the economy. Like the money's not going to
No.
anybody except
goods.
him.
He's putting good. No, he's putting goods and services into the economy with what he's doing, and
Right.
that is where his income, and he constantly is putting money into more developments. Like he is one of those that he doesn't amass wealth to hold wealth. He's amassing wealth to perpetuate knowledge as far as he sees it.
Yeah,
He
I'm
spends
not
so much
saying
money
that
in research that like
Yeah,
he is the most wealthy person because he can continuously spend money and he's not losing any. Even though he's really just giving a lot of it away to people to think in rooms.
Well, I'm not saying that he's not contributing to society
Oh,
or
he is
to.
a major chunk of the economic system. But the reason we can't talk an ill about a Musk right now is because there's a Bezos also out there.
Mhm.
These guys that they're
It's the same exact thing, though.
But
Like, I'm not saying that
goods and
Amazon
services
doesn't
and
positively affect society. I'm saying that the wealth that they're able to amass is disproportionate to what any other person on the planet is able to do, and that
But
is
Webb's
not
right. It's
right.
It's chained via paper to the identity of that person. That person's wealth is estimated to be at
Right.
this level because of the value of the
Yeah.
things that they are associated with. That
Yeah.
is not
Okay.
personally hoarded wealth. That's why I was saying when you look at these guys, they provide a good and service. Their money is going out. It just so happens that they can't get rid of enough money to see negative value right now.
But like Ren said, if Musk decided tomorrow to sell 25% of his stake in his company, the money would exist and the money wouldn't go into any economy. So he has that power.
Yeah, but where are
Right.
you selling the stocks?
Well, and also
Where
the
are you
fact of the
selling?
matter, the fact of the
Someone's
matter that even if he does sell them and the money goes into his pocket, to say that he would only just put the money in his pocket is
I'm not
also
saying
a
he
strong judgment of
would.
character as well, though. I mean,
I'm not
I
judging
understand
his
that it
character at
could
all.
turn
It's
out
not really about his character. It's about his ability to do that.
well, yeah.
Somebody's got to buy it.
Yeah.
And there's
You
other
can't-
people that are buying it already too, though. That's what I'm saying. There's stock out there that people can buy. It's not like he's the only one that has the stock. And if he sold the stock out there, that stock becomes somebody else's stock. So that company that's still generating that money, it's still a distribution of wealth at that point, just by that stock being available on the market that way. Like, you can go buy Tesla stock. Nobody's stopping you.
Right. No one's stopping you from buying Tesla stock. That is true. But the money that he would get from selling the stock would exist in real life.
Yes, if I bought a Bitcoin a while back, the money I could get back from that would be a lot of money that I did absolutely nothing for, and I would put it in my pocket and I would spend it on bullshit. I would not benefit society at all at the moment of doing that. Well, no, that's not true. I would get a couple people drunk in the process. Guaranteed. I'd see somebody at a bar and be like, buying you a drink.
But see, you're giving back.
Yeah, see, so that's why I had to redact my statement a little bit, too. I was like, wait, let me restructure this, because I would be a benefit to small portions of society in a very limited basis. But it wouldn't be to the level, like, that's why I say talking about a Musk or a Bezos and that decree of wealth, these guys are doing different stuff to occur that. They're also not, like Webb said, none of that money is, like, tangible.
It's not real.
It is a made-up number when it really comes down to it, because it's estimated values of the company. So he'd have to sell a company in order to incur that wealth, which is a company he's busted his ass and spent millions and billions of dollars in to build. So if he sells it one day and gets millions of billions of dollars back from selling a company that he spent all these years into, I just think that's a return on investment. Now, if he decides to keep the company and continue to grow it and make more millions of billions of dollars by spending more millions of billions of dollars back into the company, then I don't see how that's a problem.
That's how every company is set up.
Well, no, that's how they're supposed to be set up. Lots of
Right.
rules were put in place to make sure that companies started doing things like that. And not for nothing, a couple radical philanthropist fucking millionaires out there a while back challenged other millionaires to try and get rid of all their fucking money. That gamble that was made by a few smart men of challenging wealthy people to just get rid of their money has provided some of the greatest benefit to our global economy in quite some time. And that started back in, the 60s. A couple of the big guys were like, just get rid of it.
Yep.
And they set it up into these funds of distributions to various groups and other things, like annually just giving away their wealth. And that's, I mean, you got guys like Bezos and Elon that are also involved in these programs that generally just give away money, because there is a point that they are smart enough to understand that it doesn't matter how much more they get, it's still just going to be too much, and they can just give it away. And still, like I said, the amazing things about Bezos and Musk right now are the fact that they can literally give millions of dollars away a day, and it doesn't affect their bottom line. They're still making too much money on the other end by how much service they provide.
Yeah, I mean, look at Apple. Apple makes so much money. They were like, all right, we got to give some of this away. So anybody who holds our stock, you get dividends. And by the way, it's going to be 88 cents a share for the year, the highest we've ever given dividends out.
Yes,
right?
I mean,
that's more than Procter and Gamble gives you. Procter and Gamble is a company that has bazillions amount of shares and has been a company since what, 1840? You know, do you guys believe that the economy's in the shitter?
I think it's in a poor place right now.
I think we've got a really weird bubble going on because of the pandemic, that there was a lot of money traded on paper that made things look really, really fantastic over there in the stock market. But we know that there are real world ramifications that if people don't get back to work around the country, that is not an actual positive to see the stock market like that.
Right. I think the stock market is doing generally well because there's still the belief that people will eventually get back to work and start spending money.
Things are going to be fine.
Yeah, right. But the longer that doesn't happen,
Look, the free
The
market. The free market is driving the stock market also. I mean that
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you can't deny that. Yeah, I
you
mean
can't deny that.
all the new technology that's coming fast and furious is driving the stock market. We've seen 285 companies go public last year alone
hmm
that didn't even really go public. I mean, they I've been involved in one of these before, these so-called SPACs, where there's a shell of a company that trades on the stock market, and they have a blank check company behind them, billions upon billions of dollars from all your big-ass billionaires in this world, and they, pay another company. A company pays them. They joint merge it together and become a brand new stock symbol that's worth $20 overnight. Start opening day, $20 no matter what, guaranteed, guaranteed.
Yep.
Free market's running
hmm
that. But what I find interesting with the idea and concept of a shitty economy, after doing tons of fucking research on numbers, and a lot of numbers aren't available yet because reporting periods aren't over.
hmm
Car sales were up more than they've ever fucking been.
Well, yeah, because people are not
First,
using public transportation, so
fir-
used car sales are up actually.
no, new cars. GM sold 33% more than last year through an entire fucking
Okay.
pandemic. Okay, every car manufacturer is up. Used car market. We talked about this. Me and Ren know this because we bought used cars. We discussed it. We talked about it. The
Like
market was all over the
during
place.
the pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Yeah, okay. First-time home buyers, largest ever since the fucking depression of the house market since
Yeah, I've
07.
actually got two two friends
Yeah.
that just are one's filing for a house and another one just bought a house.
Okay.
And I got another one that's in the market looking for a house. So that's three people.
There you go.
Yeah, there's been because people are not. Yeah, that makes sense actually, because people are not commuting, so they're looking to make the place where they spend all their time the best possible ever. There's also less people in cities right now, so there's been a lot of people, for example, who moved out of California and
Oh
into
yeah,
Texas and
these are all rural
from
these are
New
all
Jersey.
rural moves.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
well, New
from
York,
yeah.
California had population loss,
hmm And
where
then
Texas and
Georgia.
I think it was Georgia had
Oh,
population
was
gain.
massive population game, Georgia. Massive.
Georgia, and
I
then
mean, Texas knocked
people.
it out the ballpark right now. I
No,
mean,
yeah.
to be honest with you, like
Think about how
they not only accrued population increase, but they accrued some spectacular business increase to the state.
Yep,
sure because
that's true.
it's a tax-free state. So with everybody
Well, I
crack,
mean, we know how we
we're gonna move the fuck
that's
out.
the
Yeah.
glory of states' rights with the
Yep.
ability to do state taxes. Like you can move stuff around like that, and that also helps create a better balanced market when you can the bid for the company to exist in a location. Like
J7, you can't shake your head to agree because you don't believe in states' rights. You think everybody should pay taxes fair and equally, including those people who make a lot more money than you do.
I think everybody should pay taxes. Yes.
Okay, so you can't agree with what he's saying because states' rights. I mean, this is the beauty of Texas, Florida, and our hometown of our future president tomorrow, Delaware.
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but Texas is not exactly tax free. Sales
no,
tax in Texas are actually quite high.
yeah,
Fair,
there's
fair.
a
Yeah.
difference. There's a difference. Like they're not
Sales tax.
tax free across the state. They have a
Yeah.
modified tax system that removes income tax in some areas, removes some property tax in some areas, but it does still like it's wealthy because it does still take money from other locations where predominantly is sales tax, which is not a bad distribution of tax. A lot of people believe that this is how fair tax should be written is that
hmm
you should not tax me on the money that I make, but you can tax me for the items that I buy
hmm
because that should be where my money is made. Like as a state, like you should tax on money earned there, that and not on the people who are trying to make the money. You can
Right.
charge it for the items that they choose to spend their money on, but not on making the money as well.
I'm
There is-
not opposed to that.
Yeah,
I don't-
fair tax, flat
yeah.
tax. It wasn't. It's a good idea. There's even some Republican support and Democratic support.
I've
It's a really
for-
weird subject for a lot of people. They don't because there's a lot of ironing that needs to be done to it in order for federal tax to go that format.
I will say that, and I've said this before. Myself and my family agree with the idea of a flat tax, and we're accountants. That would basically mean we'd be out of business. Okay?
Yeah,
And we
essentially.
support,
Mhm.
there are 10 states that have the lowest personal income tax rates. 7 of those 10 are Wyoming, Washington, Texas, South Dakota, Nevada, Florida, and Alaska that have 0 personal income tax.
Right.
But you
Um,
still have to pay federal taxes, right?
Of course, everybody pays federal tax. Yes, that's your-
Okay.
Yeah, federal
That's-
tax is a separate thing, but state taxes
Right.
we're in that division of the conversation as far as income and sales tax and stuff like that. So income tax 0 through what do you say 7 states?
Yep, 7 out of the 10. I don't know what the 3 other lowest ones are. The highest in the nation: California 13.3, Hawaii 11%, New Jersey 10.75, Oregon 9.9, Minnesota 9.85, District of Columbia same, New York 8.87, Vermont, Iowa, Wisconsin.
That's all sales tax, right?
Personal income tax. That's
Oh,
your
okay, because I think in New York it depends on your income.
New York's highest
Yeah,
is
but in New York, you also have on top of that
city and
the
state.
city tax
Right.
and a borough tax.
Right.
Sales and income tax leader, New York, highest, top 5, highest, 12.7% of your income goes to New York State. And if you so choose to live in the city, you pay city tax.
Yep.
What's the
That's
city
true.
tax amount?
12.7%.
So
Second,
12% there, and how much on the state again?
It's not a flat 12%. It depends on your income.
yeah, but the maximum is 12.7%, which is
Oh, the
basically
maximum.
that's
Okay.
basically what everybody pays. That is the highest state and local tax combination. You pay 12.7% to New York State and the city. New York State and city. You get double taxed in New York, in case you can't, and people out there don't understand that for other countries. We get taxed twice if you live in the 5 boroughs, period.
That's true. You do. And if you happen to work in New York and live in New Jersey, like a lot of people do, you have to pay both.
Yeah, but you get credited back. You get
Get
credited
credited
one
back.
off the other. Yeah, you don't pay both technically. You pay the one that you made the most money in or live the most time in.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that.
So if you live in New Jersey and work in New York, you have to pay the city tax. IT 203 is the name of the form for the city tax. But you don't pay New York State tax, you pay New Jersey tax because that's where you live.
Okay.
Vice versa. The states transfer the money. So what are you paying? You're paying New Jersey state taxes, which is what, like 6%? Or what did I say it was? I said it was 10.75%.
I see. Okay.
And New
So
York,
yeah.
then you just pay New York State, not the city, which I think is like 3.2% or something like that. I can't remember offhand.
So, I mean, I guess if New York is the highest, right? And you pay 12% plus whatever the New York State tax is, which is 6%. So,
12.6.
that's a lot. But in Texas, you don't pay any of that, but you pay like 25% or something on like sales tax. I feel like it's just split up a little bit differently. You
Oh,
really,
it is
you really,
it is
yeah.
definitely split up a little bit differently.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
but there is something to be said for hitting that percent directly from the money you earn and just seeing it go away without any purchase.
Sure, make $1,000 a week and get a check for $550.
Yeah,
Have a nice week.
there's something to be said for receiving your $1,000 check and then going and
Yeah.
spending it on things that makes you happier. Taxes are not just like they have to, in order for taxation to work with the people, there has to be some rosy part to it that they're like, okay, yeah, I don't, I don't mind paying these taxes because
Yeah,
remember, people revolt. Like we became a nation because of taxes not being rosy in a package we could swallow.
not allowed to
Right.
revolt anymore. Your revolting is called a ballot box.
Yes.
Let's keep that in mind, people. Your fucking right to rebel is called a voting box.
Yes, a ballot box. It is a voting booth, a ballot box, a
Yeah.
ticket submission
Push a
to
dial, turn a knob,
change, yeah,
chat.
to change who the representation is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
do not support what happened last week. Period. End of story.
No,
End of
should-
story.
shouldn't actually
2
have
weeks
to be
ago.
said, but yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well, you gotta,
absolutely.
you gotta
Yeah.
preempt everything. I mean, the censorship has continued since last week, and it's
The
gotten worse.
censorship?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
okay, that's getting a little.
Uh,
All right,
well-
I don't want to. I don't want to agree with that. Like,
I don't
there's
think it's
there.
censorship.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
There's no because
Watch
like
yourself.
the targeted few that I'm hearing about are kind of well targeted. So
What, the gun site that GoDaddy took down had no reason to be targeted. Absolutely none.
What?
That's your Second Amendment right.
what gun site did
Well,
GoDaddy take down?
AR15.com or something like that. Site's been around for like since the beginning of the internet, where it's a discussion group that turned themselves into a website. There was no reason to be targeted for that. GoDaddy took them down.
Do they sell anything over their website?
Nothing. Nope, not at all. And there ain't
So it's
one.
like a 4chan.
Yep, exactly. And I went through. I can't tell you how many of their forms. I couldn't find anything. It's just going out hunting this weekend. What do you recommend?
Bunch of gun nerds.
Yeah, basically. And it's been a gun nerd site since like 1986. Okay. I mean, I did a lot of research on it because I was pissed about it, because I still think big tech has definitely gone over their boundary lines. And this is, I mean, you can't use hashtags on Twitter without your account being immediately fucking scraped. Go use the hashtag stop this steal. Go use any hashtag. Go ahead, try it. See what happens. Go see what-
no, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about, and I know, and
Straight
this, I
fucking
mean,
accounts.
unfortunately,
Yo.
we're back to the discussion of you having actually zero rights on any of these
What?
platforms.
No.
So
freedom.
there you go.
Yeah.
Just leave the platform. That's your
Yeah,
only
and
choice.
that is the truth. Like,
Yeah.
And
we have all agreed they're businesses,
Right.
Yeah.
and we have all agreed that they have the right to shut the door on you anytime they want to and kick you out of their business.
Sure. I don't disagree with that.
They
I
do
told-
not
But you
have
do.
to do.
That's
They
what
do
you
not.
just
That's
said.
what you just said.
But-
They do not have to do
Yeah.
business with you, and
No, I don't
you
business
feel
with you.
you feel that
But-
you feel that this is a civil rights movement that that this company deemed what you're saying is a very specific group access
Dude, it's not,
access
it's a
to
law.
their
I mean,
to their platform.
I mean, wasn't it Microsoft today who just turned around and said, "Hey, we scraped Telegram's fucking cloud service, and we see 192 communities that shouldn't be." Whose right is it to tell you how to run your business? That's the problem I have. Like with Apple turning around and telling Paula, "You're gone, bro." I mean, Apple, at least they were nice and said, "You know what?
Yeah,
If you fix your shit, we'll put you back."
Aren't these
Google-
businesses just telling other businesses? Is that where your problem is?
I have the problem with that, but when it affects your ability to speak or be censored or have a fucking flag thrown on your post that another watch group has looked at this and thinks maybe you're not so right.
Well,
Trump-
again,
Well, I think the
I know
spirit.
that you're. I
I think
know
in
that
the
it's, like,
spirit of debate,
frustrating.
that should be allowed.
I don't know in this case. Was it really necessary for YouTube to slap a disclaimer on the president's farewell speech as the Electoral College has certified Joe Biden the president? The United States of America has deemed that there has been no such thing as voter fraud. Was that necessary?
Yes,
Considering
the
the
answer is
fact,
yes.
considering the
Yeah.
fact that how much it was talked about that it was, and
Come on.
Yeah.
on his
I mean,
farewell.
considering the fact,
Farewell.
just not
Yeah, but
everybody's
he-
the same, right? Everybody's not the same. We're not all the same.
Okay.
He in particular has said inflammatory things, and because of the things he said, we have seen things happen. So yes, that was necessary. The answer is yes.
Okay. Okay. I might not agree with everything you're saying, but you're entitled to your opinion.
hold on. The question is though,
Yeah.
has he said inflammatory things to the degree of what was cited in the post?
In what post?
On any free moment of conversation that he's had, has he not said things to contradict the election?
Sure, absolutely. Stoke the
So
flame.
in a moment where he was going to have a free section of speech, you're what it is you're mad it's a trigger warning, right?
Sure, I'm mad at that. I think it was uncalled for.
You're,
There was
you're
no.
mad it's a trigger warning that they're saying, yo, the president's probably going to say some fucked up shit. You should brace yourself.
Yeah, well, that was never. Yeah, no.
Because
I mean, that's fine.
that's essentially what it was. Is because he has
Right.
said inflammatory remarks before on every free platform he's
Sure.
been able to speak. So
Absolutely.
to cite the fact that this dude
No.
may try to sell you some fucked up shit right now. What is it? Mad? Are you mad that they are trying to stand in front of a snake salesman and go, "This is a snake salesman, but he wants to talk to you"?
Yeah, it was parting words of the President of the United States. Period. The idea of slapping the label on it, a trigger warning or whatever, is just fucking jumping to conclusions, and it's uncalled for. And
That is
it's
a trigger
it-
warning. That
I
is
tot-
exactly what a trigger
no,
warning
it
is
shouldn't have
for
been
people.
there. It shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't have
It-
been.
Well,
I mean, if
So
that's the
wait,
case,
all right. So let's think about this from a different
well,
perspective.
if that's the case, can we put a trigger warning right now before President Biden even speaks tomorrow and guarantees us 100 million shots in 100 days? Because that's an out and out fucking bold state lie.
Well, all right.
I want
Let's
sure.
think
warning
about this
now.
first. Let's think about this
Sure,
in a
go for
from a
it.
different perspective. Like,
I just did.
what if
Hmm.
they had done no such thing, right? What if they had not put any label on it, and then Trump turned around and said, "My patriots, thank you for being so amazing and
Mhm.
storming the Capitol
Right.
on my behalf."
Yep.
And then we had another riot. And then do you know what happens to YouTube?
The content would have never been there because it was a pre-recorded file that was uploaded, which YouTube scans each and everything as
But-
it's going up on the network, and it would have
But
never
if
made
but
it.
if he had,
That's
but if it
because
had been,
president.
if it had been, right?
It would have happened though.
Now YouTube is
happened.
liable for this.
It would have never happened. This is
But
what.
what if it
no,
had?
because no,
It's all about-
YouTube's not liable. Remember, 230 still keeps YouTube out of trouble for.
That's true. But
That's
that
true.
doesn't change what happens in the court of public opinion. What happens after that is people are like, YouTube should have done something to stop this person who's been constantly saying things like this.
Which is
who
why
said-
Twitter banned him. Which is why everybody else banned
Which
it.
is
Which
why
every-
everybody else banned him. Like,
Setting-
what the hell is YouTube doing?
like
Are
it
you
was
guys-
it was
like,
such a it was already such a thing. The trigger warning
Yeah.
was necessary, dude. It was, and that's all it was. It was just a hey
I
for
don't
you
know.
people who are soft. Like, remember, this guy says some weird shit every now and again.
Not in a farewell
When
address. to
when
the-
you guys are not ready. Well, yeah, but what
Not
if
a
he just
farewell-
walked up there and was like, I don't give a fuck about this
Yeah.
motherfucker, which actually is essentially what he did. He didn't mention Biden once during his speech. He gave him the coldest shoulder of a, like, hey, new guy, fuck you, I'm out.
Did he not say? I
They s-
wish.
They said he
wait,
didn't really
wait.
address the
wait,
capital
wait, hold on.
situation, nor really
No.
talked much about COVID. He just kind of
Yeah.
was like, "All right, so I
No.
did some shit while I was here, guys. I hope y'all appreciate everything that was going on, and I'm gonna see y'all on, out there on the
He-
golf
flip
course."
side.
He congratulated the new administration, and if I'm not mistaken, his exact words were, "I wish them luck. They're gonna need it."
Okay,
I think he
a
said that.
threat, a threat.
I think he said
Only
that.
mildly bitchy.
I can bring it up over here and turn on closed
We
captions.
don't need to. We
scrub
don't.
it
We don't. We
apart.
don't.
No,
Yeah.
I can't give you the sound. I shut all that down, remember? So I'm good there.
No.
But
Oh
bring it up
my
close- I
God.
can bring it up.
Only slightly shady. Just a little bit of shade. Just
I'll
a
bring it up
tiny
and
bit of
scrub it so I
shade.
can get the exact words. But he did talk.
No.
He did
Come
talk
on.
about the
Come
coronavirus.
on. Come on.
Well, they said it was very
Listen.
limited with the coronavirus, but he essentially skipped over the Capitol thing completely. And
Yeah, he
and
condoned violence at the Capitol. I mean, he didn't skip over it. This don't. He didn't skip over it. I watched it twice so I could suck it in. He did mention the Capitol riots, and didn't support it. None of that shit. Never made mention to the Proud Boys or anybody else. It was actually a pretty decent speech, as
I've
hopefully
actually
by
heard of a different group that was.
8 a.m. What, the 3%ers?
And also the oath breakers or something.
Well, there's
Oh,
the Oathbreakers and there's like a Lopo or something. There's another
Yeah.
group.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but they were like 30% of the people that were out there. I was like, holy shit. But they're a group that their sole aim is to overthrow the government.
Look,
I was like,
look,
wait, that's a real fucking wait. We know this group exists, and this many were allowed to travel to the Capitol.
I said it
What
when
the
whole
fuck?
shit was happening.
Yeah.
Posting information on fucking Facebook and Twitter and everyone, you watched all these
I
streams.
was like, it's a
Trump
homegrown terrorist
supporters
organization,
stormed
and they're like, yeah, we do hear they were.
Yeah. the
And
Trump
they were like,
stormed the
nah,
Capitol.
whoops.
Isn't the case. I mean, if you think those were fucking Americans who supported either side trying to fucking get in and kill Mike Pence, you're out of your fucking mind.
Well,
So who were they?
They were
there were
extremists.
definitely some real supporters there.
Oh no, absolutely there was, and I'm sure that there were people who walked through them fucking. I said the same thing to my father. I said, "What you mean to tell me if you weren't there up in the front and a group of fucking militia people stormed the castle, but you wouldn't want to go in and take a fucking peek? I'd be in there looking around. I'd probably get the fuck out as fast as possible, but I would definitely."
That first Capitol Police officer, Webb, would have been like, nope. I gotta go the other way.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. You call it trespassing. You just said to leave. I'm willfully leaving. Therefore, it's no longer trespassing. I'm out. But yes, there
Yeah.
was
I
support
think that's the
Yeah.
difference. The difference is
watched-
like a curious person would be like, "Oh, what's going on here? Oh,
Look,
yeah.
Oh, this is a problem.
Backing away slowly."
I watched that entire coverage of that day.
Yeah,
Okay.
91, I wouldn't have been out on the street. Once I saw the bricks, I'd been like, oh, there's about to
Yeah.
be problems. I gotta go
Look,
back to the
I
house.
watched that fucking thing like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. I was on my fucking computer with the live stream up, watching the people amass for this shit. When by 1 o'clock, if there were a couple thousand people there, it was a lot. Within 4 hours, it was 200,000 fucking people.
Wow.
And if you had done any research or anything that has happened over the last year with whatever group, by now how these people show up to shit.
Yeah.
You got certain groups that fucking show up in battle gear. You got other groups that fucking show up in fatigues. You got other ones who show up with their magna hats or whatever the fuck it is, Make America Great hats on backwards. We know all this by now.
What does
Well,
being backward have to do with anything?
the thing about it,
That's
though,
another fucking group.
here's the
Not this.
biggest argument though about it, Webb, is the fact that the reason why they show up in the way they show up, there are maybe not supporters of his ideals, but he is given a gateway for people to amass and act like that. As long as they're rocking those outfits and doing whatever the hell they want, they can be as rowdy as they want to be, and he's not going to say nothing about it.
No, Jim Andrino said it the best. It's a cult following.
Yeah.
And it is. I mean, I told you, look, I don't support either of the presidents that ran for both. Okay, my votes were for Trump because I believed in what the fuck he was trying to do, taking business into government and stop with the career fucking politicians. And you know what? 70-something million people wanted the same thing.
Did it?
You know?
Yeah.
So it's your president.
Well, at the time it was.
That's it.
And
That's
and, and will be for another couple hours.
Another fucking 6 hours or whatever the fuck it is. 13
about 15.
13 hours, 43 minutes, 35 seconds.
Nice.
I got the
And we're
clock.
Got the timer up there?
Yeah, I do. I actually do. Tomorrow is the 59th inaugural ceremony. 59. How many presidents have we had, people?
This will be 46.
46.
That's right. This is the 59th inaugural.
That's right. Because we
Ceremony.
had that many badass mofos that could get it done
That's right.
twice.
That's right.
Right.
I mean, it's a horrible fucking job. Like, we all recognize the fact that the job is the fucking pits of a fucking job that you would. It doesn't make sense why anybody aspires to be president at any point. And it was the funniest thing when you watch Donald Trump over the years, how much he was like, "No, I don't want to run right now. No, I don't want to run right now. No, I don't want to run right now." And I mean, we're talking height of popularity moments where the dude could have probably skated into office with like some ungodly number of votes that would have just been like, what the fuck numbers back in the day.
Right. I'm hoping that after tomorrow, and I know this is a fucking pipe dream, but for us, I don't think it will be. I'm hoping that after tomorrow, we can just move away from the politics. And that
that first 100 days is too crucial. Like, there's too much conversation around it. We got an impeachment that we're talking about. We've got like whether or not that's going to maintain or to be,
shape of things to come. I know.
Right. So that first 100 days, it's because of that first 100 days now being like we were saying. This is tainted now with another impeachment at the beginning of another election cycle. Or at the end of an election cycle. So the incoming president has to deal with an impeachment. It's not him being impeached this time. It's the former president being impeached, but it's right there in his first 100 days of office. And it's there. It's got lawmakers away
kind
from
of a
being
waste.
able
I mean, he's
to
out
deal
of
with-
office, so why would you, why would you impeach him? He's out.
Well, because what it is it's Nancy Pelosi wanting to take, and I believe this to be true, that it is a Pelosi strike against Trump to take away. She wants to wash the entire system of his existence. And the only way she feels she can do that is to get him off the Secret Service tab, get him off the, like, all the shit. She just wants to fucking end him. She is so fucking done with him that she wants it over.
The nail in the
Don't forget, Mitch McConnell says the same exact thing.
Well, all of a sudden he does. Yeah, all of a sudden it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's wild how bad they want to erase him from existence.
Right? And her nail in the coffin is making sure he can never hold any political position anywhere again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's trying to figure out a way to stop the presidential library. I would bet fucking money that she is home avidly reading every fucking law book possible to try and figure out how to stop the library.
Because Trump is that dickhead that will fill this library with such amounts of information that is like, yeah, so this is what happened when I was president.
Yep.
And that, I think, is an Epstein level of commitment of shit that they're like, that guy can never talk to any fucking buddy.
Yeah, maybe they're really afraid of the fact that he just takes everything he's got and puts it in that library and goes, remember when we were talking voter fraud and no fucking court would hear it because of what the Democrats were trying?
I don't want to go into the voter fraud shit about it because no.
Could you imagine if he dumps all that shit out there? They go fuck.
I didn't even want to speculate on that level. Like, what about it just being like Nancy Pelosi really comes into office every day and changes like 4 times? And she's doing it on taxpayer dollars, like actual real scandal type shit that is real worth money shit. Like, he knows a bunch of bullshit on all these motherfuckers that is just political normal bullshit that he just throws it out there on them, all of them, and exposes
Did you
them.
see?
That
Did you
would
see
be
the
more
picture?
entertaining than this still fucking wild ass fucking let's
Did-
throw voter fraud fucking thing around. Nobody would ever take fucking credit in the presidential library of a continued spout off about voter fraud.
Not at all. Of course not. Did
Right.
you see the picture of her desk, Nancy Pelosi's desk? The guy, remember the guy?
After what was done to it, or
No, he left a note on the Manila folder and put it on the desk, and then took a picture of it. Anyway, that picture went out across the internet. I think I first saw it on TMZ. I swear to God,
Yeah.
right into her monitor stand, it looks like she's got a list of all her usernames and passwords.
uh,
But
Yeah.
it's so blurry you can't make it out, because whoever took I guess they blurred everything around it to make it look like what's that whatever filter that is, to just focus in on the envelope on her keyboard. So I was like, fuck, look at that, it looks like there's passwords there, and it's really what it looks like. But I can't.
And it wouldn't be surprising considering how often there's probably change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with as high up as she is.
I mean, I'm assuming they changed all their passwords by now.
No,
like,
I'm saying I think those passwords probably change like during the day.
Yeah, they could change that.
She probably gets this is the list for now. This is the list for now.
Yeah, and well,
This
we
is
don't
the list
know,
for now. This is the list for now.
and everything was changed not
Yeah.
too long ago. As they discover more and more of the hack that's out there. So those passwords are changed anyway. So
Yeah, but we know White House security codes to go from point A to point B in the building are on a rotation on their security cards.
on the Digi swipe cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And those are roaming. They're roaming codes, so they can't be hacked,
Right.
which is smart fucking. It's the same way people can't drive by your house and hit the garage door opener and open yours. Roaming codes.
Yeah, right now I can't open mine.
Can I ask why?
We just got new batteries and neither one of our fucking clickers want to click, so I don't
No.
know.
Tie that shit to the car. That's what I used to do, and then just press the little button in the car. Fuck that little controller shit.
Yeah, but remember the controller was on the motorcycle and one's in the house.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
That's why. But yeah, now
So-
neither one of them works. So now I have to walk out to the garage, open the side door, push the button if I want to use the big door.
So, Bren, you had mentioned before the younger breed coming into the government or politics in general.
Yeah, and kicking out all the old farts.
Yeah, which is a good thing. But that's something to be careful of too. I mean, if you want the next comedy show, and I shouldn't even say the next because this was a side fucking shit. This was like Channel 9 shit going on for the last 2 years. Following AOC is just downright hysterical. That bitch is completely stupid.
Well, AOC is an interesting target, as well as the new Republican QAnon.
Oh, that bitch has got to go too.
Like she's
how
a bit
she-
wild, but hey, not for anything. I think it's entertaining for politics to have these variables involved. I don't think that these two people should be able to identify as Republican or Democrat. I think they should have to identify as other parties because their ideas are definitely wild. They have some solid stuff with them. I wouldn't really throw either of them into the parties that they're declared as.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I think that might be the lady.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, from Georgia.
Said she would carry her gun on Capitol Hill.
Yeah. She's from Georgia. She's in the House,
Yeah.
and the other one is the Colorado.
Supposedly, she was live tweeting senators' locations during the Capitol storming.
wait, the QAnon lady?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah. And AOC did come out and say, because of security reasons, I can't say, but I was involved in a situation where I feared for my life.
Yeah, she did. I feel bad for her. Fucking Tucker from whatchamacallit there really ripped her a new asshole, and it was uncalled for.
Yeah.
And didn't
Not at that time. It was uncalled for. I mean, you can call her out on other shit. I mean, let's not forget. Let's not forget, people.
I call her a witch.
Part of her Green New Deal is to eliminate cow farts.
I think that was hyperbolic. I don't think
No.
they were actually talking about cow farts.
Oh, really? And
just
her
a little
economic
hyperbole?
security for all who were unable or unwilling to work. You can hyperbole that one all you want.
Well, I don't know. I don't think
Come on, that
cow
one's a
farts
little
and-
harder to.
Yeah.
And and what was it yesterday when she was at Boston University? Is that where it was? Her alma mater, giving a speech on economics that she referenced someone. What the fuck? Milton, somebody another, who's not even a fucking person. It's a name of a town in England. I mean, she's an airhead, complete airhead.
Nope.
I don't even know. I know how. She shook her tits in a bar long enough to get enough votes.
Oh yeah.
She was a
Yeah.
bartender. She went from a bartender to a fucking being part of our government. I mean, it's a great leap to get there.
Wait.
Her last job is a fucking bartender.
Before. So no government experience prior to.
Not that I'm aware of. I could be wrong.
Wait.
I mean, no, somebody else do a background check. I want to see.
Okay.
Ocasio Cortez.
We're not talking about AOC, are we?
Yeah, we're talking about AOC.
Yeah.
She was a bartender, then she was a
Yeah, I think her last fucking job.
representative.
She was a waitress. She was previously an activist and worked as a waitress and bartender before running for Congress.
Yeah, she was waiting tables.
Right, bartendering at Hooters. I mean, a respectable place. It was Boston.
Flats Fix in New York's Union Square. I've been there actually. She was
What-
the first person to challenge Joe Crowley. She did, I mean, it was all a grassroots campaign. Yeah, I mean, apparently that's how she ran.
Then, like I
She-
said, she should not be able to be
She was a
declared for a
call-girl.
party. But this is why I like our government, and this is
Yeah,
the type of
anyhow.
our government that I want to see. Any people,
Yeah.
any people. Like I got to cheers to that one, even though I don't
No,
agree with her
I'll give you that.
politics on a
I
large
will-
sense of things. I cheers to that moment. That's why I said what I used to like about Twitter was the fact that you just go there, you do things like anything you wanted to go and do and say and think and everything. Like go there. It's a point of release. That's what all Twitter was ever. Here, drop your 140 release.
Mm. Yeah, look, anybody should be able to run for positions in our government.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
technically you can, and she's a good example of
She's
someone.
a prime example of how if you really want to
who-
make a difference, go
Yeah.
fucking do it.
What'd she
Yeah.
do? Did she run up
Right.
against somebody who was already dead on the ticket?
No.
Oh, if she
Which-
now see, come
Uh,
on now. If she stole the
But
position, that's
she-
kind of rude.
Brain dead,
I
maybe.
just want to know who she began her campaigning in 2017 while attending. Oh, you got the same thing in front of me, right? Flats Fix, yeah, New York City Union. I know where that is. Does it say?
Who did she run against? Let's see.
That's what I'm. Primary elections, 51% of the vote to Crowley.
Joseph Crowley.
Right, a 10-term incumbent. A 10-term. You know what?
And
AOC,
she beat him
good for you,
by like
'cause he was
a
probably-
lot.
by 15%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's significant.
15%. 10 times as a House, so that's 20 years because they're elected, what, every 2 years?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, it's every 2, every 4. Or no, they're on a rotating scale too, right? Yeah, but it's every 2 rotating. Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
every 2 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
which-
So she got 56% of the vote. He got 43% of the vote.
yeah, all right, good for her.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
That
shame
is
you-
impressive, and that
Yeah.
should prove to all of y'all out there. Check it out. You want to make a difference, you can go out there and fucking bow.
Yeah, you could be someone as stupid as her and get a seat in fucking Congress or the House. Or
That's
Wow.
that's
And
discouraging.
I thought you had to be
Web, stop
smart to
it.
do that.
oh, come on, she's a fucking idiot. She's the meme of the week.
She was smart enough to put the
she-
campaign together.
I mean, she was smart enough to make this work. You can't front on that.
Vote for me.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
shake
right.
my titties too in a barn. Vote for me. I'm gonna run for Congress. Vote for me.
Hey, go for it.
Yeah.
Shake your
Might work.
titties.
I want to see
Make
it.
it work.
I want. All right. So
I
web,
can't
do it.
web,
Well,
web. What
we're gonna
office?
go-
What you're going for? Senate or House next?
I can't. I'm a convicted felon, so I can't run.
Oh, I guess the titties aren't gonna work this time.
Yeah, ain't gonna work.
No.
Sounds like somebody wants voter reform.
AJ7.
I can't run.
Hey.
Somebody
They let
sounds
me
like they
vote.
want
That-
voter reform.
You let me vote. That was a good thing.
Oh,
Thank-
that's right. Technically, you shouldn't be able to vote at all, right?
that's right. That is correct.
So what happened?
They allowed us to vote.
Green.
Oh, so like overall, felons in New Jersey could vote.
I think everywhere in the United States.
I think that was a
Gotta-
federal lift.
Yeah, you got to remember they did. Whatever they,
Oh,
Because
that's
it's
right. I
because it's
forgot about
felony. I
that.
think it was a federal lift.
yeah, they did whatever they could to steal the. I mean, get
Yeah.
everybody to vote.
I see.
You know,
Look
I
at
mean,
you. You lucked out.
I could care less if they wouldn't let me vote. I just wouldn't vote. I'd still be speaking
Yeah.
peace.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Mhm.
I think tomorrow is going to be the shit show.
I really hope not. I hope that nothing too crazy happens tomorrow. I hope that we just
Oh, I'm
have.
afraid it will.
I'm afraid too, honestly, but I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that we just have an orderly inauguration and the crazies stay home. Like,
See what they did there at
Oh,
the
no.
National Mall? Did you see what they did? It actually looks cool as fuck.
oh, I know, it looks gorgeous.
I would, yeah, it does. I mean, all the flags, there's 200,000 flags out there representing each and every American who can't be with us or be there. And then I thought to myself, how great would it be if lightning hit and set that shit on fire and it'd just be like a mess right to the Capitol? Be funny as
that'd
fuck,
be
It could
terrible.
happen.
It could happen, I guess.
right? I'm praying for thunder and lightning. At, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say 12 o'clock. I don't know. No, like 2 hours.
1201.
Anybody's there. How about that? No, I don't want anybody there. I don't want to be the one to say that. You can't, who knows what you can and can't say anymore. It was kind
All
of
right, all right.
top-
2:30.
you know, you got a lot of shit happening very quickly and fast, and it's changing, and everyone's trying to figure out who's responsible for it all and who's not responsible. And when it's fucking you, the people who are responsible.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Filter yourself.
Take your
Why you
voting
gotta
rights.
dick all the time?
Use them.
You know, I don't know.
Responsible for what?
For your own fucking speech. Everyone wants to bitch about free speech, but I mean, you know, Thump is right. You guys are right. Sometimes you just can't keep spewing the bullshit.
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
You know, and I
That's
get
true.
it. I understand how it works. The more you say it, the more it's true. We learned that shit when we were 5 years old playing telegraph or telephone or whatever the fuck it was called. You,
Or the more distorted it gets.
you know,
Oh, the whisper.
sit down. Yeah, just pass it down. And when
The
it gets
secret
done,
game.
yeah, it's,
Tell
yeah,
this person a secret, and them tell a secret, and them tell a secret to see how far, and see what it is when it comes back around to the very first person.
exactly. You know, but sometimes when you say it enough, you believe it. I get it. That's half of everybody's fucking life. You get told stories and growing up, and that's how you grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then 20 years later, one of your family members says, "You think I fucking remember back then?" That's it. It's truth.
I would.
It's truth. Bullshit, Louis. Nobody remembers that.
No,
far. I can't.
I do.
I hear people say, "Oh, I remember when I was 3 years old." Bull fucking shit. You're
Well,
a
maybe
liar.
at 3 years old.
You're a liar. Nobody remembers that.
You can.
I remember
you
being
can
3 years
remember
old.
you can probably remember an instance, and it
An
may
instance.
not be accurate because
Right.
of how many people have come and go in your life that you may imagine different. They say you could fuck up the people in the situation. They said actually, eyewitnesses at a crime are the worst.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
almost nobody puts together an accurate description of a person.
And nobody,
that's
nobody
the bullshit
remembers
part.
nobody remembers their childhood from that young. You remember the stories that you were
No.
told as a child.
That's
That's
not true. I
Yeah,
remember
probably
being
when you were
3
9 years old, them telling a story to another relative about something that happened when you were 3.
That's it. That's right. That's it. That becomes your history.
Well, okay. I see what you're saying, but I do have distinct memories of being 3 years old.
Of certain instances. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. You remember the time you tried to get the cookie jar and it fell on top of your head. You'll never forget that.
Right.
But you won't remember the story of Aunt Harriet coming to the house and squeezing your cheeks and making you cry and pulled your hair in your ear and did that Italian thing. Oh, and you pull your ear. No, you don't remember that. You remember the stories of that. Yeah.
I do
But
Well,
remember
no, you
some of
also
that.
remember the fact that every time you saw her, which was only twice a year for Easter and Christmas,
Right.
but when you saw her, she brutally like destroyed your face and left you sloppy, and it was 2 times a year for your entire life, and you're like, that lady.
Right. Yeah, you don't.
Just keep squeezing my cheeks. Oh my God. Why?
And shaking me by my ear. What is that?
cute?
Stop it.
Yeah, you
It's
remember
getting,
this.
it's getting close.
I have some memories like that of like my relatives who would like make funny faces at me and stuff and like do things with my ears, and I'd be like, "Can you stop?"
I remember my
I mean,
uncle.
I wouldn't say that. Like, I wouldn't have the words for that because I was like so little. But like, it was like, this is weird. Can you stop?
My uncle used to turn his eyelids inside out and chase me. It was disgusting. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. And I don't know anybody else to this day who can turn their eyelids inside out.
Oh, I
Yeah.
had somebody. There was a guy that I was friends with that would do the same shit to people.
How the fuck would you even learn how to do that?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know
How do you
who the
even
people
learn
are.
that you
How
have
would
that
you want
I
talent?
don't know how your buddy learned it because like somebody had to show him, right? Somebody had to show your uncle. Like he
Yeah,
got
dude,
it from somebody, and you saw him do it.
Yeah, and then he would just like you just did. I don't know if you video. No, you
Yeah,
just
you
looked up, and all of a sudden his eyelids would be inside out. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I had a buddy that
6.
used to do that shit.
Hmm.
It's like,
Yeah, I've
why
never
would
seen
you do
it.
that? I hate that much air on my eyeballs.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, is there a point to it?
I have no idea. What are the Knicks?
Probably
What are the
not.
Nets doing tonight, Louis? What are the Nets doing? They playing?
They're off.
They're off tonight.
No, they're off.
There's your football bets.
But Harden's doing a pretty good job. He's scored back-to-back double-doubles already.
Well, he wanted out of Houston, right? He wanted out of there.
Yeah, I mean,
He won out there.
but
He
it's
came to
Harden.
Brooklyn.
I mean, of course that's what happened. It was a 4-way fucking trade in order to get him to Brooklyn.
One guy failed.
Yeah.
One guy failed that test. The net who went had a mass on his kidney. Now has to go in for
Oh.
surgery. But that didn't stop the trade from happening anyway.
No,
Thump, early-
didn't, but that's a tough
Is that right?
break.
Before we went on air, you were talking to me about I did what I did with all that sports betting money I made this year. I just want you to know I lost a shitload of money
Ain't shit.
Sunday. Shitload.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. Oh, the playoffs were not going to be your friend.
No, they were. I just had one team wrong. Everybody else was my friends. I just had one team wrong.
Because you
I-
homered.
Oh
Which
yeah,
one?
I homered because I homered. Saints over the Broncos. I homered.
Over the Broncos, huh?
Saints. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Saints.
Wow, no respect
Saints
for
over the-
Brady at all, huh?
Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There
Yep.
you go. There's my
That-
respect.
That's the
Mhm.
respect. Hey,
Yeah.
that's more respect than that referee gave him.
Oh, what? Yeah, that was a highlight everywhere.
Yeah,
huh?
the
You wouldn't
referee
high
sucked.
five him. You couldn't high five him. That would have been fucking mass hysteria, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
still a great meme. It was still a great meme. But yeah, no, I lost a shitload of money on that game because you're right. I homered.
Yeah.
But logically, for a lot of bettors out there, the Saints were the better play. Home in the dome, Michael Thomas back, Alvin Kamara off the COVID after 2 weeks, definitely better. Who knew that Michael Thomas was playing hurt for the last however many weeks, and he was a no-show, no factor in the game. Breeze was horrible.
Oh,
I credit him with 2 interceptions. One's not his fault, and it was just a horrible display for it. They did it to themselves finally, and I thank you, NFL, for letting them beat themselves.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you.
definitely not an influenced game
Nope.
as far as officiating was concerned.
And thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I really
Wait.
didn't see too much bad shit happen so far in the playoffs. There's been questionable calls. The touchdown that the guy fumbled.
Yeah, there's
rule
the bad part is it's shit that's left up to interpretation. The rule
Yes.
is left up to interpretation, and the official interpreted it in a way that a lot of other people didn't agree with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so there's been moments where the Saints, especially, had been kind of called out on, like, just called out of the playoffs because of
Hmm.
officiating decisions that weren't favorable towards them at all.
Yeah, the catch, no catch, the touchdowns when the guy
And this
stepped.
time
I mean,
it wasn't the case. This time
No.
they got beat.
And yes, they did. They
yeah,
beat themselves.
They got beat.
Yeah.
It was a straight up football game that, like, their guys
Yeah.
just weren't ready.
And then like I said to
They
you guys,
couldn't
I
do
mean,
it.
I posted it all over social media. To me, that was my Super Bowl. That was my Super Bowl, waiting 15 years to see.
Yep.
Mhm.
That was my Super Bowl. Cool. It was a good game. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you for not fucking it up. And it sucks that we're out, but life goes on, and go Kansas City. Although I will
Well,
say,
now the other matchup.
well, yeah, see, that's the funny part is that, you read all the shit on the internet, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, think about this. Tom Brady left the AFC to go to the NFC so he could face Breeze and Rodgers in the same year and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what is that? What type of story is that?
Right. I
that
beat
he
you
would
on this
get,
side.
He
Now
would
I'm gonna
get
come
them
to your
to
town.
there
Right?
just
Think
to
about
face both of them in the playoffs the way that it happened. Like, he got there, they got there. It is the matchups that everybody has kind of been like, well, what if it was this guy on
Yeah.
this guy in the playoffs to get there? Is Tom Brady Peyton Manning, like, or Tom Brady, like, is that less of a shadow now when you're putting them here in the playoffs against each other, and, like, who's going to have these better playoffs?
I mean, think about it. I couldn't meet up with you guys while I was on this side, so I'm going to come over here and fucking beat you all
Yeah, he's like,
to win it.
I'm gonna make a GOAT argument real quick.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I'm
Yeah,
gonna make
exactly.
a GOAT argument real quick. I'm gonna switch divisions. I'm gonna take on the two big behemoths over here, and I'm gonna go win me another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
will
GOAT at that point, right?
I will say this. I'm going to go on record as saying this. If Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, the conversation is over.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
There is no conversation to ever be talked about again as far as who is the greatest all-time quarterback in the history, and I say history, of the NFL. Period.
Wouldn't it be
Y'all
awesome
guys
if he
have a good one.
lost, though?
Yeah,
That
we're
would
out.
be awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got-
hello.
Yeah,
Well,
I got
there
a
you
couple
go.
minutes over
Yeah.
already, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah.
Joe.
I'm ready to take us out of here anyway. But yeah, that would end the conversation. And I'm almost at the point where I don't think it matters. He is probably the greatest of all time right now, period. End of story. I always thought it was Joe
Oh.
Montana, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I have.
It's not bad guess though.
All right, take us out, bro.
All right, Epic Bros Tuesday. Enjoy yourselves tomorrow. Stay safe, people. Don't storm the castle. Watch the inauguration from home or wherever you're going to do. And enjoy. Peace. We're out.
Good night.